Alright, what's up guys, and welcome to another instructions tutorial with Better Body Equipment. Today we're putting together the Better Body Squat Stance 2.0. This is the 80-inch size. If you got the 70, again the 80 which we're doing now, or the 90, the instructions process or the build process is the exact same. Your rack's just gonna be that much taller. Really excited about this one. It's a product we've been working on, tweaking, perfecting for a very long time. So we're using the one that the whole team has been working out with in the garage gym here in Texas. If it looks scratched up, banged up, whatever, that's totally okay. We just took it apart so we can put it back together with you guys in this video. But yeah, guys, this build should be very easy. You just need yourself to do it. You don't really need another person. But yeah, we're gonna go around, look at all the parts, make sure we have everything, then we're gonna get into it. All right guys, so first step, make sure that everything is unboxed, unpackaged, get it all nice and organized, all your hardware, everything, get it all dialed in. All right guys, so first things first, we're just gonna lay the base, super simple. So we're gonna take the piece that looks like this, got holes on either side, and these cross pieces here. We're gonna put it closer to the back, and then we're gonna get these guys here. There's only two of them. They got the rubber stoppers on either end. We're just gonna set it up kind of nice towards the front here and get this one in place. All right, so we got everything laid out properly here. This back piece goes in the very end. Just line up the last two holes there. Same with here, and then you have lots of room for this section here. We're also gonna put our plate holders in place, like so. All right guys, now another great thing about this build here is that all of our hardware is the exact same size. So we're always gonna have a washer right on the head of the bolt here, and then we're gonna obviously add another washer and a nut to seal off each section. So we always want the heads of our bolts facing outwards and the nuts facing inwards. Okay guys, now that everything's in place, we're gonna get our drill, our adjustable wrench, and we're just gonna tighten everything in. I'm gonna tighten everything about 80%. The last 100% will be done at the end. If for some reason you guys don't want these plate holders, they're not 100% necessary, you can build without them. All right guys, so what's really cool about this rack is we can place the uprights anywhere on the rack. Ideally, you want them centered for the best weight capacity of the rack. So that's actually gonna be 7 holes from the plate rack holder all the way to the start of your first hole. So there's gonna be 7 in between. So on your 8th hole out, that's where you wanna put it to have it nice and centered on the rack. Again, if you have tighter spaces, people walking by, the spotter arms are gonna get in the way, so you want them as far back as possible. So what I like to do here is you kind of want a custom spot where you like it the most, but you still want to use the weight rack. What we're gonna do is put the 45-pound plate right on one of these to start out with. And that's gonna give you a rough idea about how far back you can really go while still being able to take advantage of these plate holders. So for the first section here, make sure your numbers are facing out. Obviously we're using the rack outwards, which I'm sure you are. Just gonna put it right here. What I like to do is put them almost as far back as possible so you can kind of have like a nice open walkway for everything, and your spotter arms aren't gonna stick out past the rack. That's really simple. We're gonna grab these pieces here. They have the slits right in here that are gonna connect within your post or your beam of the rack. Good. If you're by yourself, get a piece of hardware in there right away, just to kind of hold everything in place. And then we're gonna grab one more piece and put it on the other side. And then we're gonna put a hardware in every single slot here. So there's gonna be a total of 6 pieces of hardware. Then they're going this side. And then remember guys, you're gonna have your bolt, your washer, Go through another washer and then your nut at the very end. So as you can see, we got all pieces in. We'll get a close up here of everything, these slits on either side filled by the beam, just to make sure everything's tight and secure, but you have every single bolt in every single hole available on this part. All right guys, so now we're gonna tighten everything and then do the exact same thing to the other side here. Good thing to do too here is now that we've had this part in, get your spotter arm if you've got the spotter arms in the package, and just make sure you're gonna like how everything's gonna sit. So you guys can see we're like adjacent to right here, giving the rack kind of like the most optimal space to carry the most weight capacity. Again, if you have lots of traffic of people coming back and forth through here, get this part, put it further back so you can just have like ease and mobility. All right guys, so now we're at the section where we're putting the second beam up. You wanna make sure you have the right amount of holes in between the frames and the uprights just to make sure everything's even and balanced, of course. So in our case, we're gonna have 3. All right guys, now we have the base together, the uprights, we're just gonna put the other spotter arm just to make it look cleaner on. You can do it at the very end, you can do it now, it doesn't really matter. If you don't have spotter arms, don't worry about it. All right guys, so at the second last step, which is the pull bar that goes across through here. Now important part, so depending on what type of squat rack you got in terms of height, so you can set the pull bar to any one of these. So if you have a taller rack and you got a lower ceiling, you can kind of set the pull bar lower so you can still get your movements in without worrying about hitting your head. It's all personal preference. This part can be tricky by yourself, so I always recommend to have a friend help you with this kind of last part here. And guys, if you have trouble getting this in between the spaces, loosen up your bases a bit and it'll fit in super easy. That's why we always want to go about 80% tightness, just to make sure we get everything sorted before we tighten everything to 100%. All right guys, so the 2.0 squat stand, or sometimes we refer to it as a squat rack, technically is really a squat stand, just kind of the team stuck in their ways a bit. This thing is complete. We're at step 9 out of 10. The last step being tighten everything to 100%. Make sure it's super tight, super solid. If you guys have any questions at all, please reach out before you get started with your working out. We have our phone number right here, and we have our support email right here. I'm gonna tighten all these guys, and then the rack's gonna be completely finished. All right guys, and then final step. So, you know, the actual last step is our J-cups. Gotta say, having these numbers is so easy for your placement. Totally worth it to have. All right guys, that's gonna be the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for support with our brand. If you have any other questions, again, contact information is both here and here. Thank you so much guys. Hopefully we'll see you in another instructions video very soon. Thanks.